रुकिए, इसको साइलेंट कर लेते हैं। Hello, good evening to all students. Welcome to in today's current affair class. My name is Praveen Chauve and I am here to discuss some of the important topic that was in news from last 1 week or 2 week. So you already know one thing about whatever the topic which I picked for current affair, that topic is evergreen topic. Why I am saying it is an evergreen topic? Because this topic is not only important for this year mains examination, but these topics are also important for next year prelims and mains examination. Okay, so be concentrated in class and focus on the topics which I am going to discuss here. Okay, so in last week we had discussed about the introduction of Right to Information Bill 2019. So basically what we discussed in Right to Information Bill about what are the changes governments bring and amendments wants to bring about the existing body, that is called Central Information Commission and State Information Commission. Means center will decide in future about the salaries of Chief Information Commissioner and Information Commissioner at the central level, and again the center will decide the salary of State Information Commissioner at the state level. So because of this new amendments, new proposals, new features means going to add in Right to Information Act 2005 that had already mentioned about the features. Now new bill will be introduced that will be again include new features. So because of this, opposition parties talks that center, because center is means central, because of centralization is going a phenomena here, a type of where a federalism of our country is disturbed. Because of if everything is decided by the central government, then what else left for the state government? Okay, the first thing about the tenure of the Central Information Commissioner means tenure will be decided by the central government. After when the bill will receive assent of the president, it will become an act. Okay, in that case new feature will be added for this Central Information Commission, means tenure will be that existing tenure is 5 year or 65 year, whichever is earlier. Now this provision will be removed by new bill that will be introduced in parliament, and now government will decide the tenure of the Central Information Commission and State Information Commission. Now the one question from what are the flaws of Right to Information Bill 2019? See, basically when we talk about the federalism structures, the federalism structure means center will not interfere in state function. There is some limited extent like during national emergency or president rule. In that case center will make a law from the state subjects that is mentioned in the state list. Okay, so whatever the subjects mentioned in state list, the state has their own power to make law. But in a situation when the situation arises like a national emergency, okay, like president rule, in that case center will interfere. So in our constitution there had mentioned something when center will interfere in state matter, but because of introduction of this Right to Information Bill 2019, it means the person who will nominate, who will become a member of a State Information Commission, previously it was decided by the governor of the state, and governor of the state will only mention, appoint a person. That person is suggested by a committee. A committee will be formed, like a chief minister will be the chairman, one cabinet minister that will be nominated by the chief minister, and one is leader of opposition. But now this provision is going to be deleted because of introduction of Right to Information Bill 2019. So we can say there is something disturbance of federalism of our country. There is one, you can say, one flaw. Second thing, now the salary, whatever the salary already means given to the Chief Information Commissioner, that is equivalent to the Chief Election Commissioner, and Chief Election Commissioner receive the same salary like the judges of the Supreme Court. So because of now the salary will be government will decide, so somewhere the power and function given to the Central Information Commission, State Information Commission will be a decreases. So that's why we can say that it is this is one of the another flaw of the Right to Information Bill 2019. Okay, so you have to understand, because we all know, we don't know about the entire picture by the introduction of this bill 2019, we have some information, and some information will be know when the this bill will become an act after receiving assent of the president. Okay. And the second topic which was discussed in last class was demographic dividend. About the demographic, what is demographic dividend? Basically, it is an economic potential of any nation that decide because of change in population age structure. The definition given by United Nations World Population Fund Organization had given one definition कि demographic dividend is an economic potential of any country, and this economic potential basically decided by the working age population of any country. For example, in our country, India's enter in 2018 a demographic dividend for 37 years. It means from 2018 till 2055, working age population of our country will be more than depending population. And what we know about depending population, basically it's a child, means at the age of 14 or below the age of 14, and the old age people more than 65 years. Is right to lead to dictator? No, it's not led to dictatorship. We can't say like this. Okay, because right to information, what ruling party said about the introduction of amendment bill. Ruling party, what they are talking about, they are saying that during when the Right to Information Act in 2005, when it was passed, that was in hurry. It was passed in hurry without consulting with the other parties also. So there is some flaws regarding the Right to Information Act 2005. Means government want to strengthen the Right to Information Act by 2005 by introduction of 2019 bill. So we can't say it's a dictatorship. Okay. Now demographic dividend we had talked about, and economic survey also talks about the demographic dividend. What are the important steps government should take to utilize the maximum potential of youth of our country? So economic survey, you will read economic survey, will be have an idea about the 0 to 19 population age group, means that already reach their peak level. It means कि government should not, and what will be the policy of the government? कि instead of making a new schools, whatever the schools are present, that should be a modified. That should be a more there should be development of more infrastructure. Okay, and for the because of news, some famous personalities against this bill, and they say see, many person have their given own opinion. Okay, so you have to focus on opinion, what the government is saying and what the opposition party is saying. Means apart from these two person, whatever the person is talking about the bills, that is not relevant to know. Okay, so as a UPSC aspirants, you know you very well know about the power and function of Central Information Commission, and you very well know about the power and function of the State Information Commission. You already know Right to Information Bill 2005. So because of all this information, if you have already, then this is your duty to think whether the government is going to take a correct step or not. Okay, this is the point. This is the means area where you have to focus more, and you have to expect a right answer in mains examination for a particular area. What is your viewpoint? Means you have to write pros and cons. Means you have to write about the correct side of the bill and what are the demerit of the bill. Merit and demerit, both you have to write in both the aspects. Okay. So that's why Right to Information Bill is a more controversial bill that was introduced in Parliament, and we today again will talk about a more bill that was introduced by Parliament in Parliament. Like the today's topic will be first we'll talk about OFSPA. Okay, that is called Armed Force Special Power Act, because this was in news. It was twice. This was in twice in news. One about it extend 6 month for 6 month more in Nagaland, and because of this it was in news. And second, it partially removed from the state Arunachal Pradesh. So we'll see in detail about what is AFSPA, because it is important for GS paper 3 and it is a part of internal security. Okay, internal security. So GS paper 3 AFSPA will see in detail about the how AFSPA was originated in our country, what are the some historical background of AFSPA, what is the present situation of AFSPA. We'll talk about the both positive and negative effect of AFSPA in today's situation. So, and second will be India's policy on cryptocurrency. Because you know one panel that was constituted by the central government in 2017 about to study the pros and cons of cryptocurrency, ki how we make a more relevant law in our country and prevent people to engage in more financial activity that is linked with the cryptocurrency. Okay, we'll see the why governments means recently a bill introduced in the parliament that is called ban of all private cryptocurrency and regulation of domestic digital currency. Bill 2019. It was introduced in parliament, means ban of all private cryptocurrency in our country, because in 2018 again that then finance minister Arun Jaitley talked about the people of our country should be not involved in cryptocurrency activity. Even RBI continuously want the people of India ki you should be most aware about the means merit and demerit of cryptocurrency. Means without any legislation in our country, without any if any regulation that's made by in our country by RBI, people should not engage in any cryptocurrency activity. So we'll see in detail about what is cryptocurrency and how cryptocurrency work in our country and all over the world, and we'll see in detail about the cryptocurrency. Third important news, introduction of unlawful activities Prevention Act. That basically it is an amendment. (2019). And one important news from GS paper 1 National Crèche Scheme. Okay? So it was important for GS paper 1 where we talk about the women empowerment. So in that case it will be important, women empowerment, a scheme for a women empowerment. Some of the important topic for today's class, AFSPA will see in detail, because these topics are not important for this year mains but next year prelims and mains examination. Okay, AFSPA हमेशा news में रहता है, so that's why it is very important to know what is AFSPA and cryptocurrency you will see in when you will see the past year question paper, and in that case from last 2-3 years always UPSC in prelims they had a question from the such type of digital currency and digital technology that is very new in international market, or we can say internationally or in India. So like example of bitcoins, you have already heard about the bitcoins, that was in 2017 more news, and there was a question in 2016 from the bitcoins. Okay, this year again the question from the cryptocurrency about the blockchain technology. Okay, so that's important for you to know all things. And introduction of lawful activity prevention amendment bill 2019, basically it again a part of internal security. So when we talk about the internal security, basically security within the country. What is the meaning of internal security? Basically, when we talk about the security or internal disturbance that arise within the border of our country, within the territory of our country, that is called internal security. And Ministry of Home Affairs basically means deal with the internal security situation, and it basically a disturbance of law and order of a particular location because of Naxalism, organized crime, okay, and some part of our country where terrorism activity also happened. So these are some internal security challenges. Okay, so internal security is a part of GS paper 3, where you every year 3 to 4 question every year from this topic, 3 to 4 question in mains examination. So OPSPA is a part, and again the introduction of lawful activity. These two are important for your internal security. And India policy in cryptocurrency, this is the part of your cyber security. When we talk about the policy of the government of cyber security, and this is the CREACH scheme GS paper 1, where we talk about the society, Indian society, role of women in our Indian society. So that's why this national CREACH scheme is important for GS paper 1. Now we'll start with the OPSPA. Now what is OPSPA basically means? So in simple language, what we know about the OPSPA, it is the Armed Force Special Power Act. Okay, basically it is a special power given to armed force to restore public order or in a disturbed area. Basically what is, in simple term, what we know armed force, special power given to armed force, given to armed force to restore public order in disturbed area. So there is two keywords you have to focus here. One is about the public order and another one is disturbed area. Okay, and you had mentioned the armed force, the special power given to the armed force. Okay, and what is disturbed area? Basically a disturbed area of any part of the state or entire whole state, when a situation arises because of local people started some movement against the national government, and they want some separate the demand of separate nation, a demand of separate state, or because of communal violence between the two peoples, between two religions, and when the situation not able to manage by a local police, okay, state police, so not able to manage by the local police, in such a situation that area is declared as a disturbed area, and there in that area deployment of the armed forces, or we can say paramilitary forces. So what we know about paramilitary forces, like Assam Rifle, Sahastra Seema Bal, okay, Sahastra ITBP, Indo-Tibetan Border Police, okay, BSF, 5 CRPF, Central Reserve Police Force. These are the some paramilitary forces. So when the situation had arises that is not manageable by a local police or local police station, in that case a governor of the state means declared a particular area as a disturbed area, and in that case central government will deploy armed force and they have given some special power. So we'll talk about what is special power, what type of special power given to the armed force to restore public order, basically restoration of law and order when the law and order is very disturbed because of continuous protest, continuous insurgency, a separatist movement started by a local people. They demanding a separate nation. They want to separate from the entire India. They want their own nations. They want to create their own country. So in such a situation a disturbance created. So it will not possible to manage by a local police. In that case special paramilitary forces deployed by the central government in a particular area to restore the law and order, and we can say public order. So this is called a Armed Force Special Power Act, and this act was basically I will add here one year, that is called 1958. So in 1958 it was the first enacted in the state called Assam. Assam में पहली बार ये enacted हुआ था. So we'll see the little bit historical background of AFSPA. क्या AFSPA का historical background है? Okay. So what is AFSPA? Basically special power given to the armed forces to restore public order and to disturbed area, and this disturbed area basically because of communalism, okay, insurgency, violence, ठीक है. So any of the reason separatist movement, they start separatist movement. Militancy. Some of the this is some of the you can say a factor on the basis of when any area declared as a disturbed area. So we'll see in detail about the sections, what are the section of AFSPA and how AFSPA, what was the historical background and present situation of AFSPA. Okay, now when we talk about the AFSPA origin, basically AFSPA is a colonial origin. ये किसका ओरिजिन है? कॉलोनियल ओरिजिन है. See, I will here talk about the pre-independence. Pre-independence के पहले इस एक्ट का क्या वैल्यू था? Okay, and this is the 1947 independence, then post-independence. So basically in 1942, now you know about the a very important movement that was started in 1942 by Mahatma Gandhi. That was basically, it was an initiative of the Mahatma Gandhi called a Quit India movement. Okay, Quit India movement, and there was a slogan given by Mahatma Gandhi called a do or die situation. Do or die, whether either we free our nation from the foreigners, or we will die in attempt to make our country independent from the foreign rule. So the situation called a do or die situation during the Quit India movement. Basically Mahatma Gandhi wants this movement will be a non-violence movement. Okay, this was the initiative of the Mahatma Gandhi, and he want that entire movement should be a non-violence. People will peacefully protest against the British government. But it was not happened as thought by Mahatma Gandhi, because on 8th August 1942, Gandhi along with Gandhi, many national leaders pledged that next day they are going to launch a movement that will be a non-violence. Peacefully people will be protest against the government. They boycott from the school and colleges. But because of 9th August, early morning of 9th August, all the national leader was arrested. We can say 4 a.m. and 5 a.m. in early morning, and they had to keep some secret jails Nobody know where Mahatma Gandhi, where Jawaharlal Nehru, where was Subhash Chandra Bose was imprisoned by Britishers. So now this movement become a leaderless movement, and the mass movement, it converted into non-violence to a violent movement. A situation become a very drastic, very dangerous situation arise that time. People violently protest against the government. Instead, they are using a fire, and they are removing the telegraph, whatever the things they had disturbed all the communication line. So that's why it become a violent movement. And that time the viceroy of our country was Lord Linlithgow. Lord Linlithgow was the person who first promulgated ordinance called Armed Force Special Power Act. Armed Force Special Power 1942. The first given by Armed Force Special Power Ordinance 1942. Basically, Ordinance 1942. Okay, so the first person in our nation, in our country, who promulgated ordinance. Now the question is, what is ordinance? Ordinance, basically, it is a special power given to, in present situation, this is a special power given to the president of our country, who can make a law when a situation arises for a public importance. And such situation when either one house of the parliament or both the house of the parliament is not in session. So you know there are three sessions in our parliament: budget session, monsoon session, and winter session. So whatever the law that you will see will made during the session of the parliament, means both the houses will sit, they will decide, and they will pass the bill, and the bill then move to the president, and the president giving assent to the bill, then that it become an act of the nation. So ordinance is a special power. At present, it is given Article 123 of the Constitution. In our today's Constitution, it given Article 123 of the Constitution about the ordinance making power of the president. Ordinance making power of the president. So that ordinance, basically, the Viceroy Lord Linlithgow promulgated one ordinance called Armed Force Special Ordinance 1942. Basically, a special power in the sense to kill. It is a license to kill anyone. Basically, what we know, it is license to kill anyone when the situation arises because of internal disturbances, because of the situation become more and more worsened. In that case, a license given to the armed forces by a British government in 1942 to kill anyone, to arrest anyone, to search anyone, or whatever the means, without any warning given to a particular person. So it was the first in 1942. The AFSPA was the first introduced in our country by Lord Linlithgow. So that's why I am saying whenever any question will come in mains examination, you have to write something from AFSPA, then your introduction part must mention this point also. It was a pre-colonial origin. It is a colonial origin. And pre-independence India means 1942, during the Quit India movement, it was the first promulgated in the form of ordinance launched by Lord Linlithgow. And then what happened in 1947? So in 1947, you have know that there are provinces, many provinces are in our country. So there are 4 provinces which was there was a partition of 4 provinces in 1947. That province is called Bengal, East Bengal, Assam, and United Provinces. The 4 provinces named Bengal, East Bengal, Assam, and United Provinces. These 4 provisions was partitioned during 1947. So that time again a situation arises, internal security of our country more disturbed. So that's why President launched again a ordinance that is called Armed Force Special Power Act. So when we talked about the post-independence, so it was in 1952, the story behind the post independence, so in 1951, the Naga National Council, basically, it is a one, you can say it's a Congress type of organization that was formed of northeastern state, in the state of Assam, Naga tribes. Okay, they formed the Naga National Council and they declared that 98% of Naga, what they declared? They declared that 98% of Naga people voted free and fair, plebiscite. Free and fair plebiscite. Now, what is plebiscite? Basic meaning of plebiscite, it is a, what is called plebiscite? It is a practice in democracy where local people decide by voting of territorial disputes, to solve a territorial disputes. So this is called a plebiscite. So in 1951, the Naga National Councils said that 98% of Naga tribe, they are voted free and fair plebiscite where they want to they want what they, why, for what they have voted. They voted for what was the demand? The demand, yes, 4 provinces in 1947. One is called Bengal, Assam, United Provinces and East Bengal. The 4 provinces. In 1947, there was a partition of these 4 provinces, and because of the Bengal, Assam, United Provinces and East Bengal. It's visible? Okay, the 4 provinces. 1947. So what was the demand of Naga tribe? They want, what they want? They want free sovereign Naga nation. What they want? Free sovereign Naga nation. So what the Naga tribes, basically 98% of the Naga tribe voted free and fair plebiscite. Basically a plebiscite is a practice in a democracy where the local people decide about the, through a voting about to solve a territorial disputes. Okay, in democracy you have 4 type of practice, referendum, plebiscite. Okay, these are the some, apart from plebiscite was here. And they want a free sovereign Naga nation. What is the meaning of this? Means the entire Naga tribe, they want their own nations. They don't want to be a part of India. They want to own nation like Bangladesh. Abhi ke time mein a different nation say their sovereignty is different. Means, so what is the meaning of sovereign? Basically sovereign means they will decide their internal issues, means without consulting with any foreign party. Okay, means whatever this, they want to make a law, regulation, rule regulation in the internal matter, they will discuss according to their own. Means they have own constitution. So they are means demanded for a free sovereign Naga nations. So government, because of this, Naga tribes become more and more violent to protest, and they also means they boycotted 1952 general election also. Okay, 1952 में जो first general election हुआ था, which was boycotted by the Naga peoples also, and later they are also boycotted like school and colleges for demanding their separate sovereign nations. So situation was disturbed, a lot of situation was disturbed here, and because of this the Assam government, that time the state government issued one ordinance called the maintenance of, the ordinance name is called the Maintenance of Public Order Act 1953. So because to tackle this situation, state government imposed the Assam Maintenance of Public Order Act. (1953) in Naga Hills. So because of 98% of Naga tribe, 98% of the Naga tribes, basically they are voted, they want a free and sovereign Naga nations, and they continuously protest against the central government. Okay, local police are not able to tackle the situation. So in that case, the state government, Assam state government, imposed one act called the Assam Maintenance of Public Order Act 1953 in Naga Hills. Okay, then what happened next? So basically, when this act was imposed by central government, that means only that time the only state police are tackling the situation. Okay, there is no any situation to deployment of paramilitary forces. So in 1955, when the situation become more worsened, it become more means difficult to manage by state police. So it is become very difficult to manage by the state police. In 1955, the state government deployed Assam Rifles in state. Okay, so when the situation was not even controlled by a state police, the situation was very dangerous situation. So in 1950, there was a deployment of armed force called a paramilitary force called a Assam Rifle in state, and along with the state police, they have also given a special power to tackle the situation. But the rebellion Naga National Councils set up a parallel government in 1956. In 1956, the rebel Naga National Council set up a parallel government. In 1956, situation was so dangerous. It is not even managed by the armed force, special police force, the special paramilitary force that deployed by the state government to tackle the situation. Both state police and armed force both not able to manage, because at that time Assam Rifle had not given a special power. उनको special power दिया नहीं गया था, इसलिए वो situation को बस they just had given the warning by showing the gun. They given the warning, I will shoot you if you will not man, but they have not given right to shoot any person. So that special power was not given that time in 1956 to the Assam Rifle. So because of this, what happened? The rebel Naga National Council, who are wanted, basically this organization want a separate nation, separate sovereign nation. They don't want to be a part of India. So they decided to make their own constitution. And what they had done? in 1955 when the situation, when they when they saw that the government is taking some stringent action, some intended action against them, they started a parallel government against the state government. The parallel government basically their own government. Okay, what is the meaning of this parallel government? Basically, they will decide their own action. They make their own rule and regulation is in the parallel to the central government. So that was the situation that you can imagine yourself. What was the situation that time? Not even managed by both the armed forces even and state government. So what happened in 1958 to tackle this harsh situation? To tackle this harsh in 1958. Our then President Dr. Rajendra Prasad promulgated ordinance called Armed Force Assam and Manipur Special Power Act. (1958). So this was the origin of AFSPA in 1958, when the situation was not controlled by a state government, and even when the special power was not given to armed officers, they are not able to manage the situation. So in that case, in 1958, our then President Dr. Rajendra Prasad promulgated one ordinance called the Armed Force Assam and Manipur Special Power Act 1958. So that was later named by a AFSPA Act. उसको हम लोग बाद में AFSPA के नाम से जानते हैं आज के टाइम में. ठीक है, Armed Force Special Power Act 1958. So the first this act was enacted in the Assam state, Assam provinces in our country. ठीक है, तो 1958 because of northeastern people, they have a feeling of otherness. They have feeling of they means they felt that they are very different from the rest of the India. Their culture is different, their linguistic is different, their all the means whatever the things all things are different, and because of continuous rise of unemployment situation, they have very less resources are there because they can manage their entire location. You know, still today there is a problem of transport facility is not good there. No industry are set up there that provide a good employment opportunity. Still there is only one thing that generate a revenue called natural resources in northeastern state. So because of that, they have a feeling of otherness. They want their own different nations. They don't want to connect with the rest of the India. Okay, so that's why in 1958 AFSPA was originated in our country, and it's the first enacted in Assam provinces. Okay, so this is some basic historical background of AFSPA origin in our country. Okay. Now, this 1958, the AFSPA Act 1958, it had given is only special, that had only given power to this act given only power to governor of state and union administrator of union territory to declare any area or whole of state as disturbed area. Okay, please focus on this statement. The Armed Force Assam and Manipur Special Power Act 1958. This act only given power to the governor of the state, governor of the state and administrator of union territory administrator of union territory, because these two only body have a power to declare any area as disturbed area. Once area is declared by disturbed area by governor of the state, this is the authority of the central government to deploy armed force to tackle the situation. So under 1958, the only given power to the governor and administrator. But what we know from the article 355 of the constitution, at present we know under article 355, आर्टिकल 355 क्या कहता है हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का, कि दिस इज द ड्यूटी ऑफ द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट टू प्रोटेक्ट द स्टेट फ्रॉम इंटरनल डिस्टर्बेंसेस, इंटरनल थ्रेट that arise within the state. So this is the power, this is the duty of the central government under article 355. ठीक है, under article 355 they means they have to protect the state from internal disturbance. So that's why the law makes little bit change when a power given to the central government also. Means apart from these two body, a governor of the state, administrator of the union territory and central government. Even central government, governor of state 1, 2 and 3, administrator. Of union territory, all three body have a power to declare any area as a disturbed area. Okay, so previously it was only power given to the governor and the administrator, but under article 355 we know the duty of it is the duty of the center to protect the state from internal disturbance. So under that article the power is also given to the central government. Means be prepared for prelims question. One question may be framed in prelims about which of the following statement is correct from the AFSPA Act. So maybe in a statement they have given a statement कि only governor and administrator of union territory have a power to declare any area as a disturbed area. Maybe the question they will use central government and governor, they left administrator. So you have to remember all the three body who have a power to declare any area as a disturbed area. And this is the first point you have to know from prelims point of view. Okay, so this was the AFSPA Act 1958 that was introduced in our country because of insurgency. The word insurgency, what do you know about the word insurgency? Insurgency situation that was arised in northeastern state. Northeastern state insurgency, basically it is a type of movement that is launched by local people to demand for a separate nation. They want their to describe their culture, their language, their religious belief, everything, education, everything is different from the rest of the India. So that's why they want a separate nation. Okay, they demand for a separate nation. So that's why the type of movement when the people started against the central government called an insurgency, a separatist movement. Separatists, they want separate nation, called a separatist movement. So in that case, a northeastern state was more disturbed in our country since independence. Still today they are disturbed because of local a disturbance created. They're demanding for one important news regarding they want a 2 time zones in our country. We have today only 1 time zones. Okay, 82.5 degree that passes from Mirzapur of Uttar Pradesh, that is Indian Standard Time. But northeastern states demanded 2 time zones. So still central government is not accepting the demand of northeastern state. Means accepting the demand of northeastern state, it means giving them autonomy. They in next time they can raise some other issues. They demand something else from the central government. So government is not accepting the demand of the northeastern states, and because of all this rise of unemployment, poverty, means a very less investment by the central government in northeastern states, people feel they are very different from the rest of the India, and because of they start a separate movement to become a different nations. So that type of movement is called insurgency. Okay, media is offline. Okay. Now this is the about the Assam and Manipur 1958. One movement is started in our country in the state of Punjab and Chandigarh. So apart from the insurgency that you know in northeastern state Assam and Manipur, one more insurgency that was arised in our country in 1983 in the state of Punjab. So one second important, the armed force Punjab and Chandigarh Special Power Act 1983. So like northeastern state like Naga tribes, they want a sovereign nations. Similarly demand was from the Sikh community in Punjab and Chandigarh. They want the Sikh, they want a separate nations, and they want to make a separate nation from that will be means different from the rest of the India. So in 1983, in 1980 there was battling in 1980. People of Punjab state people basically in 1980 people demanding separate nation, and they battling Khalistan movement. Khalistan movement, the Khalsa, basically the Sikh separatist movement. In 1980 they demand a Khalistan movement. They battling for a Khalistan movement. Okay, so operate in the state Punjab in 1980. Okay, so what is this Khalistan movement? The word Khalistan come from Khalsa, a Sikh. It is basically a Sikh separatist movement. Sikh separatist movement, that is called a Khalistan movement. Okay, so in 1980 again the situation when become more dangerous, worsened. So that was not managed by this local police station. So central government deployed an armed force, that is called a Armed Force Punjab and Chandigarh Special Power Act 1983. Okay, because basically they demand a separate nation, and they declare that states like Haryana, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir. By combining all these states area, they want to create their own nation. That is called Sikh Community Nation, the separatist movement that was launched in 1980. To tackle the situation, government again enacted a law called Armed Force Punjab and Chandigarh Special Power Act 1983. When the situation controlled by this armed forces, then this was removed from the particular location. So you should remember also about the Armed Force Punjab and Chandigarh Special Power Act 1983. So it was withdrawn in, APSFA was withdrawn in 1997. In 1997 from the Punjab. So these two things you should know. The Armed Force Punjab and Chandigarh, basically it is a UT and a state. The people are demanding their separate Sikh movement. Okay, that is called Khalistan movement. The word Khalistan basically from the, it is Sikh separatist movement, Punjab region. Okay, so that was the removed in 1997. Then again one more APSFA was enacted in Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. So next AFSPA Act in our country, the Armed Force Jammu and Kashmir Special Power Act 1990. So this was the third law made by a parliament, that is called AFSPA Act in 1990, that is to tackle the situation because of rise in militancy and insurgency in Jammu and Kashmir state. The AFSPA was enacted in 1990 to tackle the situation. But you know, Jammu and Kashmir have their own constitution. Okay, so they made their different legislation. They have own legislation to tackle the situation of when the governor of the state, or central government, in either of the both, any one of two, knows the fact the situation had arises where it will not able to manage by local police, then they can declare a particular area as disturbed area. Now Jammu and Kashmir, they have their own legislation. Jammu and Kashmir state has their own legislation, and that is called a Disturbed Area Act. That is called Disturbed Area Act. This is the state legislation of Jammu and Kashmir. And Disturbed Area Act is very much similar to the AFSPA Act. Difference is that this Disturbed Area Act also given a special power to the armed force. Okay, what this special power given to the armed force? Disturbed Area Act. But the difference is that this will be declared by the governor of the state, and AFSPA Act will be declared by the central government, either central government or governor. But this is the Disturbed Area Act. The only difference between AFSPA and, we can say, a mini version of AFSPA. But only difference, Disturbed Area Act, that is Disturbed Area Act, is declared by only governor of the state. But when we talk about the AFSPA, both governor and central government both have the power. But when we talk about the Disturbed Area Act, and this Disturbed Area Act was just it was lapsed in 1998. This Disturbed Area Act was lapsed in 1998. So after that, this under the AFSPA section 3, under the AFSPA section 3 of the AFSPA, section 3 of the AFSPA talk about the who have a power to declare area as a disturbed area. So when this Disturbed Area Act was lapsed in 1998, after that the situation was not controlled. Okay, not controlled by the state government. So this area of Jammu and Kashmir declared by the state government or central government as under section 3 of the AFSPA, that area is a disturbed area. So Disturbed Area Act, this is the local legislation of Jammu and Kashmir. Different, we can say it is a mini version of the AFSPA. The same power given to the armed force. What is the same power? When you talk about the special power, what type of a special power? So when you talk about this special power, this special power is basically defined under section 4 of the AFSPA Act. Section 3, basically section 3 of the AFSPA talks about the who have a power to declare any area as a disturbed area. This talk in AFSPA section 3 and section 4. When we talk about the section 4 of the AFSPA, define special power of armed forces. When we talk about the Special Power Act, what are the special power given? So that special power basically defined under section 4 of the AFSPA Act. Special power basically means to kill anyone or shoot. To kill anyone or shoot. ये स्पेशल पावर आर्म फोर्स को दी, वो किसी को भी मार सकते हैं, बट द कंडीशन इज दैट अ प्रायर वार्निंग मस्ट गिवन बाय आर्मी ऑफिसर. जो भी आर्म्ड फोर्स डिप्लॉयड है, दे हैव अ पावर टू किल इवन शूट टू एनीवन इफ they thought that ki this person is involved in activity that disturb the law and order. Okay, some evidence will be there, you know, this evidence proved that the person killed by an army officer was a part of terrorist activity. They are engaged in some activity that disturb the law and order of the particular location. Okay, and on the basis of suspension also, suspect, if they think the suspect is there ki no, he will be disturbed in future at the particular area, they can kill anyone. Okay, so to kill anyone or shoot, prior warning must be given by army officer. Okay, second, to search and arrest without वारंट. वारंट कहते हैं ना कि बेसिकली इफ पुलिस विल कम टू अरेस्ट यू, ही विल शो अ वारंट, दिस इज द वारंट रिगार्डिंग यू, व्हाई ही मींस अरेस्टिंग यू, देयर सम रीजन बिहाइंड दिस. बट द स्पेशल, व्हेन टॉक अबाउट द स्पेशल पावर द आर्म फोर्स, ही कैन सर्च basically means search about your whatever the accessories you have kept, like your bag, in your pocket, what is the keep in your pocket, your purse, they can search everything. And even a premises, search where you are living, your house, they can enter in your house without your permission, they search every part of your house, if on the basis of suspension that person is involved in some activity. So arrest without warrant. Third, okay, to stop and not allowed to assemble five person or more. ठीक है, means special power, if there is some people are standing there assembled together, 5 peoples are gathered in and they are talking to some means on different matter, so this is the power given, they can stop you, means they means even the search you, and they stop to gather a particular place. If any disturbed area the people are gathered 5% or less than 5%, they have power to remove from particular place. So this is the power given under the, when we talk about the special power, the special power given to the armed forces. Okay, so these are the some and fourth, if anyone arrested by armed force if any person is arrested by armed force, that person must be means given must be, the armed force must inform to the local police station also. Okay, if anyone arrested by armed force, he or she must be handed to local police station. Okay, when the army officer will arrest any person, so that person should be handed to the local police station, and also the army officer have to demonstrate the entire circumstances on what basis that person was arrested. So this is the power given under section 4 of the ASPA Act. So you should remember all these 4 powers, whatever the power given under Special Power Act. So when we talk about the Armed Force Special Power Act, this is the special power to kill anyone, to search the premises, your whatever the you have keep your stuffs, that everything will be searched by a army officer. If he will arrest anyone, that person must be handed to the local police station within 24 hours. And stop and to allow assemble of not allow the assemble of more than 5 person or 5 person in a particular disturbed area. Okay. Now, and special power again, last one. Prosecution of the army officer on duty only start after receive approval from the central government. It means during on duty, if army officer had killed someone, or they means search someone, that violate the human rights. So in that case, if Human Rights Commission want to inquire about the situation and why this army officer had done such a such action on the what action he had taken by army officer when he was deployed on duty and he killed someone. So when the Human Rights Commission wants to start inquiry against the army officer, that Human Rights Commission must be take permission from the central government. Without approval of the central government, not right given even a Human Rights Commission to inquire about the action done by a army officer when he was deployed in a disturbed area. So these are the 5 important special power given to the AFSPA under the Special Power Armed Force Act. Now, present situation, and when we talk about the role of judiciary, or question arise about the constitutionality of AFSPA Act. So it was in 1988 Supreme Court under the case Supreme Court, the case is called the Naga National Movement Human Right versus Union of India. This is the name of the case under when a Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of AFSPA Act. Means according to Supreme Court, there in India there must be a AFSPA Act exist to tackle a situation that arises because of local insurgency. मतलब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि AFSPA एक्ट मस्ट बी प्रेजेंट इन इंडिया He was not, Supreme Court was not against of AFSPA. He upheld the constitutionality of AFSPA Act. So what was, so in 1998 Supreme Court under the Naga National Movement Human Right versus Union of India upheld the constitutionality of AFSPA. ठीक है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा कि इन इंडिया द लॉ मस्ट बी प्रेजेंट टू टैकल अ सिचुएशन. दिस इज वेरी नेसेसरी टू गिव अ स्पेशल पावर टू द आर्म्ड ऑफिसर्स. ओके, कि टू टैकल अ सिचुएशन दैट विल नॉट मैनेज बाय अ सेंट्रल पुलिस, सॉरी स्टेट पुलिस. So if it was repealed, if the question is repealed, because most of the Human Rights Commission talked about कि AFSPA Act must be repealed from the Indian Constitution, or we can say from the Indian law. Okay, because it violated the Article 21, that is the right to life of a person. Article 21 के violate कर रहा है, ठीक है. Article 14 right to equality को violate कर रहा. So that's why Human Rights Commission talked about the repeal of AFSPA Act. But it was the case when it was case filed in Supreme Court in 1988. The Supreme Court upheld the constitutionality of the AFSPA Act. Okay, and in such a situation, Supreme Court added some extra provision under AFSPA Act. Supreme Court ने कहा कि instead of repealing of AFSPA Act, some provision must be added. What type of provision? New provision. When we talk about the new provision, that a suo moto power given to central government, power to central government. Means central government without receiving information from the state government, when central government come to know the particular place area a situation had arisen, that area must be declared as a disturbed area. So moto power given to the central government. At the same time, Supreme Court also said that कि when a central government declared any area as a disturbed area, in that case this is the we can say courtesy of the central government to take the permission of the state government, to ask the suggestion what state government suggests on a particular matter. So moto power given to the central government. What is suo moto power? Means central without means receiving any information from the state government. Central government comes to know कि now the situation in Chhattisgarh state, some part of the Chhattisgarh state, Raipur district of Chhattisgarh state, or some state, some place of the Chhattisgarh, some district of Chhattisgarh are disturbed because of local insurgency. So it's without means wait from the state government will state government will give notice to the central government, and then central government deploy armed force. Without waiting, central government directly deployed armed force in a particular location. So that is called a suo moto power given to the central government. Second thing, Supreme Court said that the army officer should means use a less or minimum military force, means use of less or minimum military force. Because what we know about this section 4 of the AFSPA Act, it talks about it is license given to kill anyone or shoot on anyone, but prior notice, prior warning must be given by an armed officer. But Supreme Court said that ki most of the cases armed officer use a less military force, means instead of killing to anyone, means take the person in custody and ask the reason behind his why he had means engaged in such type of activity. So less or use a military force, less military force. Third, if any area is declared as a disturbed area either by central government or state government, that a disturbed area must be reviewed in every 6 months. Okay, what talk the disturbed area? must be reviewed in every 6 months. Yes, these are suggestions given by the Supreme Court. Now this amendment of by the Parliament also. Okay. So AFSPA Act Supreme Court का जो suggestion है, that is the new suggested by Supreme Court. Now the military forces or armed forces, wherever the AFSPA will be declared, they have to follow all the suggestion given by the Supreme Court. Okay, so disturbed area must be reviewed in every 6 months. That's why last month Nagaland again extend for 6 months under the AFSPA Act. इसलिए नागालैंड में जो है कि कहीं भी डिस्टर्ब एरिया उसका 6 मंथ में हमेशा रिव्यू होना चाहिए. ओके, एंड द मिलिट्री फोर्स ऑल्सो use a minimum force and the follow do's and don'ts that issued by army, because the army issued some of the points where what should do on duty and what should not do on a duty. So army, whatever the points or suggestion given by army officer, he must follow rule mentioned by the army कि आप when any armed officer is placed in a particular location, that person or army officer must know one fact that what are the things they have to do and what the things they have not do on duty. So that is the suggestion given by a Supreme Court, means must follow the do's and don'ts issued by army. You should know the things, what the things they will do during a duty. On duty में रहने पर क्या क्या करना है और क्या नहीं करना उसको पता होना चाहिए. Okay. So again the question was raised whether the AFSPA Act should be continue or repealed. So government created in 2004. In 2004, government created one committee under chairmanship of BP Jeevan Reddy Committee. Under chairmanship of BP Jeevan Reddy. So in 2004 again government created one committee to know whether the AFSPA should be repealed or will continue in force. So BP Jeevan Reddy committee suggested that ki AFSPA must be repealed from the country. Okay, he was against the AFSPA, BP Jeevan Reddy committee. So committee suggested AFSPA must be repealed. It means it must be removed when the talk about BP Jeevan Reddy committee. So BP Jeevan Reddy committee talks about the AFSPA must be repealed, and it recommended some of the important points. Instead of AFSPA, special power given to the army officer, whatever the law exists in our country, that is called Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 1967. Now the one bill introduced in Parliament about the amendment of 1967 amendment bill. So this committee suggested that AFSPA must be repealed, and they also recommend some of the important things like instead of there must be a clearly mention about the duties and the power given to the army officer under Unlawful Activities Act 1967, and must be there a grievance cell created in each district of disturbed area. So this was some recommendation given by a BP Jeevan committee. Government means not completely accepted whole accepted by the report suggestion given by BP Jeevan Reddy committee, but some of the extent government means think that there should be we have to make our a law that is called Unlawful Activity Act 1967 more stronger when we as compared to the AFSPA. तो अप्सपा से जो इसका कमेटी ने रिपील्ड करने की बात कही, गवर्नमेंट्स कंप्लीटली डिनाइड. इवन ARC report, when you talk about the Administrative Reform Commission report, second ARC report भी कहता है कि AFSPA Act must be repealed, but government means denied the recommendation of the recommendation of the fifth ARC report of Administrative Reform Commission report. So basically, in today's AFSPA Act is in force in our country, because if AFSPA will completely remove, then what will the situation arise? To tackling a situation in a particular location will be difficult for an army officer. If they have they have not given a special power, so it is very difficult to tackle the situation, because the power to license to kill means the power to kill anyone with prior given to the warning. If any threat means some practically proof evidence show that that person was engaged in such activity that because of that whole area was disturbed. So that is the power, that is the special power will if it will be removed. So this is very difficult for army officer to manage. Second, to maintain a law and order, to restore a law and order in a particular location, it is very important that a special power must be given to the army officer. Okay, and what we know about the military force in our constitution, basically a military force, we have not given us any power to the military force, and only power given to the state police officers, because of law and order is the state subject. The state government make a law on the law, any law regarding the state law and order from the state subject. So it is necessary to give a special power to the army officer to tackle any situation that arises because of what situation. Okay. So if in mains examination question will come from AFSPA, you have to write about the Supreme Court suggestion. BP Jeevan Reddy committee talks about, you just mention about the name of the committee. Okay, and at present कहाँ AFSPA लगा है? इन नागालैंड, ठीक है, मणिपुर, अरुणाचल प्रदेश एंड जम्मू एंड कश्मीर. तो ये सब जगह पे प्रेसिडेंट AFSPA एक्ट लगा है. नागालैंड, मणिपुर, अरुणाचल प्रदेश एंड जम्मू एंड कश्मीर. मणिपुर में इम्फाल डिस्ट्रिक्ट को छोड़कर सारा जगह पर, सारा एरिया में मणिपुर में लगा हुआ है AFSPA एक्ट. ओके, सो नागालैंड, मणिपुर, अरुणाचल प्रदेश एंड जम्मू एंड कश्मीर. एनी डाउट फ्रॉम AFSPA एक्ट? Now we had already mentioned about the introduction portion. Introduction portion basically what about the AFSPA Act. It was introduced in 1942 by Lord Linlithgow. Okay, basically AFSPA, you will just see the video, okay, that will be accessible. इनका कुछ पार्ट मिस हो गया था रायपुर से, इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट, ओके, बैकअप मिल जाएगा ना, ओके ओके. नाउ व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट दी unlawful activity prevention amendment bill 2019, unlawful activity prevention amendment bill 2019, basically it will amend the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 1967. So this is the new bill introduced in a parliament. Arunachal Pradesh MAPSA Act is introduced because of insurgency, local factors, because of their tribes, they demanding a more a different state demand of the different state government, and again the Arunachal Pradesh which make a border with the Myanmar. What happened? There are completely a migration of people from Myanmar to the Arunachal Pradesh, and the people who are illegally migrant in our country, that disturb the local areas, that disturb the local police stations. So those people who are outsider who came on our country from the illegal route, so that's why it create a disturbance. So that's why ki the areas which is like a West Kameng and East Kameng district, West Kameng district and East Kameng district for Arunachal Pradesh, from where the AFSPA Act was removed by the government, it was now the presently AFSPA is enacted in those location which is border with the Myanmar. Because of illegal trafficking, most of the outsider came in Arunachal Pradesh and they disturbed the particular areas. Okay. So all the northern state have same reason because of their demand separate things. So that's why AFSPA was introduced in all the northeastern states after 1958. But it removed from Tripura, Meghalaya, okay, Mizoram. It removed from Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram. Now it is more in force in Manipur. Apart from Imphal autonomous area, in entire Manipur, it's partially enacted by AFSPA Act. Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, and Assam. It enacted in Assam state also. So it will amend the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 1967. So new introduced bill, basically what is, it is the bill which introduced will declare any person and organization organized as terrorist organization. Basically the bill that was introduced in Lok Sabha and it passed from the Lok Sabha, the bill name is Unlawful Activity Prevention Amendment Bill 2019. Basically, this bill will amend some provision of the 1967 Act, and basically the main motive behind the introduction of this bill to declare any organization as a terrorist organization or declare any person as a terrorist person if they involve in any activity that is called a terrorism activity. So on what basis any organization will declare a terrorist activity? Like if terrorist act, if organization commits some terrorist act like something that means disturb the internal threat, that will be declared internal threat for our nation, so that is called terrorist act. Participates in terrorism. Second, promote terrorism. ठीक है, if organization is where they promote terrorism in our country, they means convincing the local youth to do some activity that disturb the law and order of a particular location, so that is called promote terrorism. Okay, prepare for terrorism. If organization engage in prepare for terrorism and any other activity, any other activity. This is power given to the central government. Central government will declare any organization a terrorist or any person as a terrorist person if they engage in commit terrorist act or participate in terrorism. If the organization promote terrorism, what is the promotion of terrorism? Basically means spreading any news because of that one part of area is disturbed and other part of area also affected. Means spreading of some news that will violate the law and order, people will be more protest, they start to protest against the government, they have to do some activity that is called terrorism activity. Prepare for the terrorism means any organization is giving training to the youth ki how to make a bomb, how to exclusive devices like which are more that means kill more peoples, about the carrying of weapons, transformation of weapons, smuggling of weapons, okay, and the organization engaged in drug trafficking, okay, illegal migrant or in money laundering case. So if such organization will be more engaged, so that organization will be declared terrorism by a central government or any person. The same organization and or people or person who are engaged in all in these four conditions, that person must be declared as terrorist. So this is the power given to the central government. What new thing bring by Amendment Bill 2019? We'll see that. Okay. So what is the definition of terror or terrorism का definition क्या है? What is the definition of terrorism? Basically nowhere define terrorism. कहीं terrorism का definition नहीं दिया हुआ है, but section 15 of the Act talks about terrorist act. What is terrorist act? So section 15 of the act talks about the what is terrorist act. Basically a act like, what is terrorist act? Any action which intend to threat peace, security, sovereignty, integrity of our country, that is called terrorist act. So section 15 of the act talks about कि what they not define anywhere terrorism. What is terrorism? There is no any definition of terrorism. Okay, but section 15 says that some of the action if anyone engage that disturb the peace, security, sovereignty, integrity of our country, that is called a terrorist act. Okay, so you should know the definition of terrorism is not given anywhere. Okay, so unlawful activities, section 15 of the unlawful activities 1967 talks about the what are the terrorist act. Now the what is the new things amendment bill means in this introduction by the government. गवर्नमेंट क्या नया लाना चाहती है? So what the new thing government want bring after introduction of amendment bill 2019? So this is the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 1967 and this is the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act Amendment Bill called 2019. Okay, so first thing that under 1967 the power given to Deputy Superintendent or the rank of ACP of NIA to investigate the case related to terrorism. So this was given in 1967 Act. The power given to Deputy Superintendent of Police or ACP, Assistant Commissioner of Police. This rank officer will investigate the case that means related with the terrorism. Now what 2019 bills bring? Now the rank of inspector of NIA also investigate the case related to terrorism. Okay, what was the given in 1967 Act? कि if any activity that is related with the terrorism, only the rank of DSP or ACP rank officers only they have power to investigate. But under Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 2019, government wants to include the inspector rank officer of National Investigation Agency. What is NIA? NIA basically a National Investigation Agency. Okay, so rank of Deputy Superintendent of Police or ACP of NIA will investigate the case related to terrorism. Now a rank of inspector also investigate the case related with the terrorism. This is the amendment, means going to bring under new provision that will be added, new provision under the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 2019 bill. Okay, now the second thing about when we talk about to seize the property, if any organization or any person who engaged in any organization or any person who engaged in any terrorist activity, there was a provision given in 1967 Act to seize the property of that person. Whatever the property have that person have their own, that property must be seized by a NIA officers. And before seizure of property of that organization person, NIA officer must take approval of DGP of the state, means Director General Police of the state. Okay, so to seize property, approval of DGP of state required. ठीक है, it was given 1967 Act कि if means the rank of DCP or ACP who investigate the case related with the terrorism, and they found that now this person or organization that engaged in terrorist activity, to seize the property. So before seizing a property, the approval of DGP, means Director General of Police of the state, that approval must be taken by taken by the investigation officer. Now what the new provision that will be added in 2019 bill? Now the approval of DGP, approval of DGP of NIA must be received. Previously the DGP of a state, remember DGP of a state, now the DGP of NIA, who will be the Director General of National Investigation Agency, that person approval must be required, okay, to seize the property of any organization or person. See the difference here. Old Act talks about the DGP of the state, new Act talk about the DGP of NIA, National Investigation Agency का no need to take approval from the DGP of the state. The only approval of DGP of NIA, that will be a sufficient to seize the property of a particular organization or a particular person. Okay, so these are some new changes wants to bring under UAPA 2019. Now the person who will be declared, who means according to central government engaged in any activity, that activity means shows that a person engaged in any terrorism activity, that person is called terrorist. The name given a terrorist. And the person who is suspected, that the person, that means not proved by the central government, but that person is suspected, that person is called terrorist accused person. Okay, so remember the name, two name. The person whose act is proved by the central government, that person is called terrorist. Whose act or action is proved and who suspect, that person is called terrorist accused. Okay, the person is called terrorist accused who was suspect, means whose action is not even means proved by the central government investigation agency. So that person is called terrorist accused. And who will call terrorist? Terrorist called a person who had name. Now the government want to add the name of the person, addition of the name of the person in schedule, that will be created by one list created by the central government, where a person name will be inserted by the government if that person is declared as a terrorist. So क्या होगा, उससे क्या होगा, the person will be that is a psychological we can say that a psychological, they will not able to do any activity peacefully. If the name of the person is declared by central government terrorist, there will be a boycotted from the society. That person, they will not able to get any job. So the lot of problem they have, that person must be faced. So entire picture of the bill is not clear. So whatever the new provision given, that the two provision must be, you should know ki, and previously it was the only given power to the DGP or given to the power to DSP or ACP to investigate the case, but now the power given to the inspector also, that will investigate the cases related with the terrorist activity. Okay, so this is all about the Unlawful Activity Prevention Bill 2019 Amendment Bill, that is called Amendment Bill. So if you have any doubt regarding Unlawful Activity Prevention Act 2019 or from the OPSPA Act, both the topic is important for GS paper 3 internal security. Okay, internal security के point of view से काफ़ी important है. So if you have any doubt regarding the OPSPA Act and Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, just ask your question. If you have no doubt, then we will rest of the topic we will do in next class. Okay, that much sufficient for today. Both the topics are so lengthy. OPSPA Act and unlawful activity. We will do in next class about the introduction of cryptocurrency bill. We will talk about the detail in cryptocurrency. Basically, what is cryptocurrency? When you talk about the cryptocurrency, why government want to ban all private cryptocurrency in our country? So what we know about the cryptocurrency? Basically, it is a type of currency. It is a digital currency or virtual currency, like Bitcoin, Litecoin, more recently like a cryptocurrency launched by Facebook called Libra, 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 a new cryptocurrency launched by the Facebook. So why government want to ban all private cryptocurrency in our country? It's a cryptocurrency basically is a virtual currency and digital currency. Unlike the Indian rupees and fiat currency, or we can say flat currency like Indian rupees, US dollar, this, to whom this power, is there any more power given to NIE in addition? Yes, that is the power given, that now the rank of inspector will investigate the case. Okay, previously it was the power given only to DSP and the rank of ACP. So lower rank officer also have power. So special power given to NIE, and DGP of NI, the approval of DGP of NI required to seize the property of any person or organizations. So obviously the power given to NI in addition. Okay. So why I am talking about the cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that Indian government means ban. Even in 2018, our finance minister also talked that people of India should be not engaged in any activity that related with the cryptocurrency. So if new law said that under Subhash Chandra Garg committee that is constituted by the Indian government in 2017 that talks about the cryptocurrency. So under this new report, if any person who engage in any activity of cryptocurrency, they have to fine 25 crore rupees, and at the same time they have to imprison for 10 years. 10 years imprisonment. Okay. So that's new law said that we have to not engage in any cryptocurrency activity. Okay. So cryptocurrency basically talks about the blockchain technology, and the blockchain technology is a part of distributor ledger technology. We'll discuss in detail about this. Again required a in-depth analysis. You should know, I have to explain in very detail about the cryptocurrency and why Indian government is banning in our country. So it will take a time. It's again a lengthy topic, not a short topic. Okay, so we'll do in next class. Okay. Yes, Varanasi, now they can go to the affected area for investigation. Yes, they can go. ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने जाएंगे. ओके, अफेक्टेड एरिया में जाएंगे, वहाँ का जो भी एक्टिविटीज होगा, प्रॉपर्टीज होगा, इफ दे आर एंगेज इन एनी एक्टिविटी, द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ द पर्सन दैट विल बी सीज्ड बाय द ऑफिसर्स. ओके. एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? I told you all that GS paper 2 and GS paper 3 required a current affair update. When you are writing a mains exam, in that case, GS paper 2 and GS paper 3, all 20 question. If you want to score a very good marks in GS paper 2 and GS paper 3, you have to read a regular newspaper. Newspaper आपको रोज पढ़ना होगा, and these are the things you will see. अभी आप न्यूज में देखोगे, अभी आ रहा है, ये हमेशा न्यूज में आ रहा, unlawful activity, cryptocurrency, AFSPA Act, Right to Information Bill 2019, whatever the topic I picked for your current affair class, that topic is evergreen topic. Basically that topic include some part of our GS static portion also. At the same time we are also talking about the recent situation, okay, that happened in our country. Any doubt, student? Okay, thank you to all. We'll continue in the next class about the cryptocurrency bill and other new topics. Okay, I will give you PDF where you will find some important new schemes like National Crèche scheme. Okay, nutrition machines introduced by the government. Okay, thank you to all.